Is everybody excited to vote for a convicted felon?
Yeah!
We are living in the dumbest timeline right now.
Oh geez, I couldn't agree more, folks. We absolutely do live in the dumbest timeline.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
You gotta give him that huck too and spit on that thing.
I disagree with that.
You have to maintain eye contact, work that chest, cut the balls. My hands wrapped around the Johnson. And most importantly, when he says, I'm gonna come, don't change that speed.
Believe me, I know what that feels like. Anyway.
Good job. Do we like Dick? Yes.
Whether it's Donald Trump's impressively dumb supporters.
Ever feel like a loser? A sucker. Someone who got played. You should. Because if you still support Trump, that's what you are. You got played by this guy.
Or his sycophantic bird brain lapdogs in Congress.
What about Jewish space lasers? Tell us about Jewish space lasers.
No, why don't you go talk about Jewish space lasers, and really, why don't you f*** off? How about that?
And even the boy genius himself.
The next day they'll say, he's crazy. The next day they'll say, oh, he's incompetent. The next day they'll say, this is one of the dumbest human beings ever.
We won the evangelicals. We won with young. We won with old. We won with highly educated. We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated.
He says, surrounded by his sons, Dumb and Dumberer Jr.
Donald Trump Jr.'s on cocaine. Don Jr.'s on coke. I have a cocaine addiction.
And I know it feels like we're living on the brink of idiocracy right now, and it won't be long until the State of the Union looks like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of America.
And I genuinely don't think that's too hyperbolic with the cult of personality and stupidity that has risen around Donald Trump. And I'll be honest with you folks, I needed a bit of a pick-me-up after the debate performance, which honestly felt a little like watching this.
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries. I personally.
But mostly as depressing as this.
The voters of this nation are presented with a choice between a monstrous, bloodthirsty psychopath and a self-confessed brain-dead ignoramus. Help me, please. What will future generations think of us? That we cannot present the public with better alternatives than these.
And I figured y'all might also need a pick-me-up as much as I do. So as much as there is a message to this video I'm about to show you about how dumb of a decision it would be to put Trump into office, I also just want to give you all something to hopefully laugh at and lift your spirits a bit. And thankfully, the Lincoln Project has yet again given us just that. I'm just gonna play the first ad for you right now, and then I have other examples later. But this one kind of takes a turn in the middle. They really get you in the first half with it starting out not even seeming like a political ad, but then they turn on the jets, and I think we can all relate to the dire and hilarious warning. Take a look.
In January 2025, the future that generations were warned about will arrive. We know AI will change everything. Machines that can think for themselves, make decisions for us, technology which can control us or even kill us if we aren't careful. That future may await us, but a far greater threat is here now. Because that day in January isn't about artificial intelligence. It's about actual stupidity. Masses of people, unwilling or unable to recognize the difference between democracy and dictatorship. Politicians and pundits, drunk on confirmation bias and spewing lies in the name of principles they no longer hold. Cultists, useful idiots, ignorance, mindlessness. Actual stupidity. It's here, and it's taking over. Take a last stand with humanity this November and save the future from AS before it's too late.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, frankly, I am much more afraid of AS than AI. Because, you know, one may take my job, but at least it can automate writing all my emails. Whereas the other one might just dismantle democracy. But look, that ad makes it pretty clear how much of a dingbat Donald Trump is, and despite Biden being old, at least he has a competent administration behind him and a brain that functions properly. Most of the time. Whereas when you look at Trump's gaffes all put together, you get a much different, dumber picture.
So I asked Doc Ronnie, I said, what do you think about a cognitive test, Ronnie? Then he said, sir, there is a test. It's called the X test. Then you get to the end questions, and very few people could answer those questions. A chair, a hat, a badge, a necklace.
Oh, great. He has the concept of object permanence down. That puts his mental age at about 1. Funny, that's actually his IQ as well.
Like a giraffe, a tiger, or this, or that, a whale. Which one is the whale?
Are we sure he's taking a cognitive test, or was he just spinning one of those Fisher-Price toys?
Person, woman, man, camera, TV. They say, that's amazing. How did you do that? I aced it twice. I aced it, and I aced it. I aced both of them. Aced it. I aced it. Every question right.
Well, congratulations, Donnie, on acing the test, but why do I have a feeling that specific test looked a little something like this?
This is a square. Can you guess which spot that goes in?
The square.
That's right. It goes in the square hole.
Yes. Okay.
And how about this rectangle? That one?
Also the square.
That goes in there too.
Yeah.
Up next, we've got this thin rectangle.
The thin rectangle.
Can you guess where that goes?
The thin rectangle.
That's right. It goes in the square hole. And up next, a cylinder.
The circle.
I think that goes in
the circle.
The square hole. Now, we've also got this semicircle right here. Do you see a slot that would fit
the semicircle?
Semicircle?
The semicircle.
That's right. It's the square hole. Okay. Up next, the triangle. We know what hole that goes into,
triangle.
right?
Triangle.
That's right. The square hole. And up next, we have the arch.
The arch. The arch.
You guessed it.
The arch.
It goes in the square hole.
So it's easy to see how he might not be the brilliant guy he makes himself out to be. But to his supporters, he's friggin' Einstein. I mean, if Einstein were not a physicist who solved some of the greatest mysteries of the universe, but rather a grifter who defrauded the government and lied to everyone about everything.
All his promises, come on. They're as real as his hair. He never built the wall. He never did the trade deals. He was never going to. It was all a show. A con game. He said you'd get tired of winning, but you're just tired. Tired of giving him money to pay for his lawyers. Tired of watching him embarrass you. Tired of his lies, his lawsuits, his trouble. Tired of defending a man who doesn't deserve your support. You know he won't change. You know he's the architect of all his problems. But he thinks you're gullible, that you can't figure him out. If you keep supporting him, you're proving him right.
So yeah, maybe instead of tax cuts for the rich, or firing every single administrator in the government who has any idea what they're doing, maybe we try investing in our education system instead. Because right now, even Einstein would be hard-pressed to figure out how to get us out of the dumbest timeline. Thanks for watching, folks. For Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse, and I'll see you all in the next one.